Hi everyone, this is a bit of a random video. I wasn't planning on doing this, but on my realistic Bulbasaur video that I did, someone basically requested or suggested doing a realistic Pikachu, and although I didn't really plan on doing it, I thought, why not? I haven't done any videos in a long time just because I haven't had too much time, so this isn't something I spend too long on. But I start off just using the sketch pencil or the sketch brush. I've got a video on how to make that. I'll put a link on screen for that now. And just to doodle out a few ideas. They're all pretty similar, but I adjust just the size and shape on some, making him a little bit taller, things like that, playing around with ear positioning. And someone suggested to me that Pikachu should be a little bit fatter than what I started with, so I think throughout I used the warp tool like then, just to warp his body a little bit, make him a little bit chubbier. I thought with him being a mouse, or I think he's a mouse, something that sort of comes across as more cute might do better for this character. So when I'd picked one of the sketches, I then, on a new layer underneath the sketch layer, just block in, it could have pretty much been any colour to start with, just so that I've got something there. And I like to do this first of all just because it gives you the option of clicking the lock transparency button above the layers, which basically means you can't paint out of those, so it keeps you in line and it can come in handy. It also gave me a chance to just block in some of the light and darks, the light and shadow areas, just to, it's always good to keep these in mind throughout, as it can affect things like the colour that you're using. And for me, I've made a really quick, pretty poor colour palette, which you can see on the top right. Now, I don't actually like painting things in yellow purely because I'm not that great with colours yet, and when you make a yellow darker, it is really difficult not to just make it look just really dirty and muddy. So I've tried to avoid just adding black to the yellow to darken it. I've tried to go more towards a red or more of an orange, so you might notice that in the shadows. You might actually notice that he's not 100% symmetrical in the face, especially the eyes. It didn't occur to me at the time, but when I'd pretty much finished, someone looked at it and said to me, "Your eyes are really wonky on this." So off camera I do adjust his eyes just using the filter tool, just to sort of push it back in place. So most of this was done just pretty much using small brush strokes, just as it looks, little bits of fur. To be honest, I went into too much detail in the way I did it, in the sense of I wasted a lot of time pretty much doing every individual hair, which you really don't need to do. I don't know why I did it like that, just made it more difficult for myself. But I think I was just thinking with it only being a fairly small character anyway, it wouldn't take me that long. But it ended up still taking a couple of hours, so I was wrong on that bit. And by this point, I didn't need to rely on the sketch layer. I still had it there. I think I maybe bring it up to add tail and maybe his feet and hands, just to make sure I've got them exactly where I wanted. So it's always good to revert back to the sketch to check that you haven't gone too off course or anything, but you should manage without it now. There's not much need for a sketch at this point. And throughout, I think I'm basically just using the standard brushes. This is in Photoshop CS6, so it's like the first 6. And I just played around with the hardness and things. You can see that I'm adjusting the settings there, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter what brush you use for this. I didn't end up doing like a realistic background for this piece because I'm awful at background, so I just put like a little pattern in the background, something really simple, just using using a different brush for it, just so that there was something there instead of just a grey background. But yeah, I didn't go into too much detail with it, as it's something I need to study and get a feel for more to know what I'm doing. And I don't really have like loads of free time at the moment to make too many videos, but I'm definitely planning on making more, hopefully soon. So if there's any suggestions, anything you guys want to see, need help with, please do let me know. And we're coming up to the end of it now. I think I basically just add a little bit more shadow and highlights, so I've got like the drop shadows by his hands, which makes it look more 3D. And that's it. Then I just quickly play around with the hue and saturation and level settings. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscription button at the bottom of the screen. You can also see some of my other videos by clicking the video links on screen now. Links to my Facebook and DeviantArt can be found in the description box. Thanks for watching.